everyone. I'm just so excited to finally present my final capstone. Also nervous, but my name is SarahLoper. If you haven't met me before, and yeah, let's get started. Welcome to Chi Alpha. We are a Christian fellowship here on campus. We have weekly services. We have weekly small groups. We have welcome week events. Of course, we have end of the year parties. This is one from December. That's just a few of us, actually. That's not even our whole group. But we are just dedicated to finding students and investing in them both spiritually and relationally. And I'm going to have us do something that we do at each service and actually take 30 seconds, stand up, find someone you don't know, and greet them. And go.
Hi. I'm Megan Ray. Nice to meet you. You know Sherry? That's supposed to say that I do know Sherry. I'm kind of stuck with the cord. Oh, this is great though. Get some energy going, get some Everything is awesome.
Awesome. Thanks for doing that with me, you guys. Seems good stretch break, it's fine. So before I really dive into my concept and my floor plan and all that, I just wanted to explain why Chi Alpha means so much to me. It really became my home away from home when I came here to Flagstaff. I had a hard time transitioning into college, but I was just really accepted into Chi Alpha right away. And I've actually been leading a small group for the past 3 years. This is from my sophomore year. And not only do my girls mean a lot to me, the staff and other co-leaders mean a lot to me as well. And one of them's here today. These are my campus pastors, Ryan and Kelly. They're actually my clients. Couldn't make it today because they're in meetings, but they're really my spiritual parents and my other real parents while I'm here. And this is actually a picture from my very last small group that I had last Thursday. And so just these people mean so much to me, and they've invested in me and I've invested in them. So I'm just really excited that I got to do this project for them. So we have a problem. Ever since I came here freshman year, Chi Alpha has actually been growing and growing and growing and growing so much that we actually don't even fit in our building anymore. We've outgrown it. So we're meeting at a church called Northland Christian Assembly, off campus though. But we are still having leadership meetings and parties at the hub. Our staff has their office work there. And so we're going in between two buildings every single week. And that's actually really a hassle. And so I really wanted to give the staff and the students one facility where it's all encompassing. It can handle our growing numbers and it can handle all our activities that we are having. And so after talking with my clients, my concept for this space, my 3 main words, is convivial. I want students to come in full of just joy and laughter and just enjoying each other's company. I want it to be a communal space. I want whoever walks in our doors to feel welcome and a part of the family. Whether you're religious or not, American or not, no matter who you are, you walk in and you feel like you're at home. And lastly, as opposite as it may seem, I actually want people to be tranquil while they're there, to just feel relaxed and calm and free from all the stresses of life. And so I actually did quite a lot of research for this. Firstly, I researched megachurch design. Megachurches are technically defined as having over 2,000 attendees per week. And while we're not quite that big, we are very multifunctional like megachurches are. It is often seen, though, that megachurches only really care about the numbers and the money coming into churches, and that people get lost in the crowd and they aren't actually cared about. And so those are things I actually really wanted to avoid in my design. I wanted people to feel part of the community. Nextly, I researched third place theory. So if you're not at work or at home, where are you? Are you at Starbucks? The movie theater? Are you at a library? Are you at church? You might be after you see this. And so really, people actually attach to third places when they're going through a really hard time, like lots of stress, lack of emotional support, And they just don't feel safe either at home or at work. And that's how I attached to Chi Alpha, actually. Nextly, I researched prospect and refuge theory, which is really the theory of how do you feel safe within a space. It's really how you can see but not be seen. It also has to do with introverts and extroverts. So can the introverts hide away and recharge themselves and get away from people? And one thing I found out is that through architecture is that having lower ceilings actually makes people feel safer there. And then lastly, I researched college student stress and ways to relieve that. Guess what? We're stressed, in case you didn't know. And so because this is a building specifically for college students, understanding ways to relieve that stress and why they're stressed is really important. And so you'll see it a lot. I have lots of elements of biophilia or plants incorporated into my space, cool colors, and lots of wood and natural tones. So, putting all these things together, I believe I've come up with the perfect solution with the new Chi Alpha Hub right here in Flagstaff, Arizona. Located off campus, but still very close, and also right next to a couple apartment complexes, so people can just walk there instead of having to drive. So here on the left is the new sanctuary, and here on the right is the new hub, which is 2 stories. And quickly, I'll go over the second floor plan. It's actually private space. It's for our Chi Alpha interns that live with us. We've got dorms down here, and then we also have guest rooms for visiting pastors and their families. And then we have an open library that will be full of books because our interns do study and take classes. But let's get to the cool part. This is how they look in relation to each other. These are my first floor plans. And the entrances are right across from each other, so it's easy to get from one building to another. My sanctuary, I chose to separate my buildings because I wanted to have a defining line between the religious and the hangout secular. I believe that it just fit better for my purpose. And so with the sanctuary, we have all the traditional things like the entry, sanctuary, offices, and classrooms. And then across the way, we have the hub, which has computer labs, entry lobby area, cafe seating, and the game area, which I'll get into more. So to start out with the sanctuary floor plan, I'm going to go over with you the entryway, the sanctuary, and the greenhouse. So when you walk in, this is what you first see in the entry. I created a custom welcome desk for students to be welcome to. I even have a lower end transaction bar for people in wheelchairs so that all students feel welcome when they come in. And as you can see, I added a lot of elements of biophilia into my space. We have a plant wall in the back that's nice to look at when you walk in. And also I have a lot of wood accents throughout the space. It also gives off that nice rustic Flagstaff vibe to it. What's even greater about this space, it is very large. And so large groups of students can come in, hang out, talk to each other both before and after the services. And then you walk through these double doors here into the sanctuary. And this is what the front of the sanctuary looks like. I created a custom wood panel wall and a backlit glowing cross to be the focal point of the sanctuary. So it just draws students in. They're like, wow, look at that back there. And it's also something nice to look at during the worship time and during Ryan's sermons. I also included cloud ceilings, which really make the space feel more intimate. By dropping down the ceiling, it doesn't feel quite so large and big, which students have been telling me they like the lower ceilings at the old hub, but I felt it got a little claustrophobic when it was still full, so I kind of did a little bit of both. And so as you can see, it feels kind of warm in there with just my colors, and so that also helps the space feel more relaxing and soothing while students are in there. And so, before I go to the next slide, when you think of churches, do you think of greenhouses? No. Well, this is something that I'm actually introducing into my my sanctuary building. I actually created 2 greenhouses, one on each wing, but this is just the perspective of one of them. So what's really great about it is that it's enclosed. There are windows for year-round use. When the snow comes and it covers all the plants and all the light, how are students supposed to enjoy Mother Nature or God's creation when there's snow everywhere? And so I thought it would be super cool just to have an area for students to retreat to if they needed to have some alone time or talk to someone, they can go into the greenhouse and relax. I also added some wood tones to the ceiling just to make it warmer in there. And a great possibility is that students could plant their own plants there, and they could watch it grow and tend for them throughout the year. Research has shown that gardening is very therapeutic and helps reduce stress. So there are a lot of cool options that could come from these greenhouses. So we're gonna walk across the way and go to the hub now. This hub is really to hang out and enjoy each other's company. So like I mentioned earlier, I do have a computer lab for students. Say they wanna do homework or they just need to print something out, we have something for that. But I'm going to go over the entry lobby area, the cafe seating, and the gaming area with you guys. So when you first walk in, this is what you see. I created this custom planter bench for students to sit at in the entry. Say they're waiting for a friend to come in, they can wait there by the entry. I also tried to make the planter part high so that there was a bit of separation from people sitting on one side than on the other. If people are having a conversation, it's not like people can just sit and eavesdrop and listen to them. There's a bit of a division going on. And then I also, might be a little hard to see, but I also included additional plant elements throughout the space. This is a little planter that I have by the ramp that leads up to the cafe and the cafe seating, which actually leads me to my next spot is the cafe seating area. The cafe is over here in these barn doors, so students can go and grab a cup of coffee or tea, and then they can come back out. Firstly, I added half walls for some privacy in this space. But it also keeps the area open, so it's not completely enclosed. Nextly, I also created another custom planter bench for students to sit at. Just imagine large groups sitting there. We could put up a table or two and they're all playing this like giant board game or working on a project together. Nextly, I added various forms of seating within this space. As you can see, we have tables and chairs. We have like relaxing chairs hidden behind her. This is a sofa right here. So having different forms of seating means that students can move the chairs around, they can push tables together and create larger groups. An important tidbit of information I found out with third places, that people actually become territorial in their third places. Have you ever gone to Starbucks and someone's sitting there at a 4-person table, one person, and their stuff is like everywhere? Yeah, that's territorialism, and that's something we want to discourage. So we want students to have people sit with them and not just block everyone else out. And then lastly, these floating blobs that you see aren't actually blobs. They're acoustic ceiling panels that help control the sound of the space because I do have concrete floors. And so with these ceiling panels that are dropped down, it also encloses the space a little bit more. I have 19-foot ceilings, and so it really helps make the space feel closer together. And then this leads me into one of my favorite areas is that we actually have a game area here. I incorporated several different types of games. Of course, leave it up to your imagination. We can come up with different games as well. I've got foosball tables, a pool table, and 3 ping pong tables. We are avid ping pong players at Chi Alpha. I mean, just last Friday at our party, people are dancing over here, and then there's like this round robin game of ping pong where you hit the ball and then you run around to the other side, and the balls are going everywhere, let me tell you. And so what I really do love about this space is that I have a horizontal division of space so that down below people can be playing their games, hitting their ping pong balls around, and not be hitting us people who are just trying to have a conversation with someone else. And so I'd like to show you my loft area just a little bit more. And so it's a small little floor plan, but the way you get up to the loft is through the stairs or the elevator. And then I'm just gonna go over the seating with you guys. So I incorporated several different types of seating, of course, because that community aspect that we have. I included ottomans, sectional sofas, reclining chairs. So these chairs can be moved around and accommodate whatever kind of party we have going out there. If people want to talk, and it's a large group, like we can push furniture together. I really like the idea of having ottomans there because you're literally physically sitting next to someone shoulder to shoulder. Like there's no barriers in between people. And then as you can see, I do have some chairs off to the left side over here. These are more for the introverts or the people that need to get away or have a private conversation with someone. I know it's a little dark, but they actually wrap around you just a little bit. So you actually feel really safe when you're sitting in that kind of chair. So let's do a recap. I know that was a lot I threw at you guys. So we're way too big for our little hub. And so we're meeting at Northern Christian Assembly, but it's such a hassle going in between two places. It doesn't feel like home to me. And so we're done with that. It's over. We're moving on. The space that I have, I want it to feel convivial, communal, and tranquil. And lastly, I researched megachurch design, third place theory, prospect and refuge theory, and college student stress and biophilia. And I believe by combining all these things together, I created the perfect solution with the new Chi Alpha Hub.
Haley.
I really like how you, I haven't seen this in any other slide. I really like how you had those red leaders coming out in with the words, and I thought that was a very smart idea. I wish I had done that for my presentation.
I bet yours is great, Haley.
It's a little late now, but you know. Beautiful perspectives. I love everything about it. I think that those blobs were really
Those
cool.
blobs, you know.
But I also like the research that you took into it. I know that we only had to do 3 topics to research, but I think it just shows how much you care about this project that you went in and did a 4th topic for your research, and I thought that was really cool. And you could see all the excitement in your eyes.
I thought you did a really good job of being like very conversational and then keeping the audience engaged and like, yes, and like keeping us interested in what you have to say.
Good, awesome. Oh, hi.
Hi, I'm Olivia.
Sorry, you're waiting.
I really liked in your hub, like also like Haley said, your ceiling treatments.
Mhm.
It looked really good, and with your lighting fixtures and kind of like how they alternated, I liked that a lot. And your color scheme throughout is really common.
Awesome. Yay, thanks. Kathy.
Going back to like the whole like mega church thing, you feel like you can feel like stressful and you can like get lost or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've ever heard of like Pilgrim's Rest down in Phoenix. I go there and it's humongous.
Yeah.
And it's very, very stressful all the time.
Yeah, my old church that I went to down in Tucson, I don't know if it's technically a mega church, but it is ginormous. And like, I actually really didn't like going to church here because I didn't really have any friends, actually. So I started going to another church that's actually very, very tiny. It's even smaller than our Chi Alpha, and it's amazing. Like, I have really good friends there. So it's like, it's hard to find a balance because I want to have a lot of people, but it's so hard when you have a lot of people. And that's what we're figuring out right now. We've grown so big that I'm like, I don't know everyone who's here now. Who are all these people? So, yeah.
Small churches is great.
So Kyrie, do you like the idea of a mini megachurch?
Yes.
Woo!
I'll be there.
Yeah, boy.
We're recruiting already. All right.
Sarah, what is the size of your church?
The total square foot? Okay,
No,
so
people-wise.
how many people, Nicole, have come to Chi Alpha?
You're fine.
Well, since we moved, we average anywhere between 90 to 100. It just depends on the week.
Okay.
When we were at the hub, 120,
Yeah.
which was too big.
Yeah, and I actually forgot to mention the sanctuary holds 264 people. I forgot to mention that. It's kind of an important thing. Oops.
Is that to accommodate growth?
Yeah, and right in talking to my pastors, they said that they would probably hold like 2 services a week instead, and so like they would be estimating like 250 people a week. I mean, I told them if Chi Alpha was as big as you ever thought it could be, how many people? And they're like, So, but I mean, we're growing still, which is great.
Did you have an actual site for this?
Yes.
I was wanting to see a vicinity map or where this
where this actually is
Oh,
in
okay.
Flagstaff.
So it's located on University Drive, where it's behind where Burger King is, and then we have 3 apartment complexes right there. It's at that stop sign.
Yes.
So I actually really should have included a picture, but I just didn't. It slipped my mind, honestly.
I think you did a great job with your research too. It was really good. I love that you brought in the unexpected with the greenhouses, but really, really great, and based off of what you researched as well, addressing acoustics. You did a lot of great things, your horizontal division of space, so you're thinking about the whole space in the 3rd dimension and not just typically getting stuck in, here's my floor plan.
It caused a lot of issues, honestly, trying to figure out my floor plans and having like technically 4 floor plans to work with, but I think it would be a perfect solution for the way High Alpha is, honestly. I really do. So let's get on this. Let's
I think the presentation, what I really, really enjoyed about it, it was very cohesive and very well planned. And it's just a little bit of a nuance. You threw the plan up and you quickly identified here are the 3 areas, and it was kind of a preamble. And it really makes a lot of sense versus a static, well, we're going to talk, here's the space, we highlight it, we're going to talk about it. You went bang, 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 and you gave us this a little preview. It's like a preview. And it makes more sense then, when you see it being presented. Because now I know where they are in relation to each other, but it was, 5 seconds. Just boom, and it really helped keep the flow of the presentation really, really cohesive. And again, and your execution, how well you thought out the furniture, the type of people that are like, okay, well, believe it or not, I'm the introvert that is back in the corner. I would be in one of those comfy chairs just hanging out, watching what's going. And so you're creating this inclusive space based on our own personalities, whether we want to be an engager and we're going to be the life of the party and in the middle of it all. And again, that's accomplished through not just the architectural, but also the furniture plan. Which I think you're just spot on so many levels, and how these 2 relate to each other as well. So it's really well executed. Well done.
Thank you.
I would echo that. It's just in the sense that the organization was really clear and concise and easy to follow. Your use of icons for the sake of helping us understand the concepts and the research, and that they followed through, and then your recap at the end was good. In the development of the program, I really enjoy also the courtyard that's created by the placement of these 2 buildings. I mean, it really, as a social space, it's a nice way of linking these 2 through a common shared plaza.
Yeah.
And then lastly, the layering of space is what really hit me when we got into the hub. Like, I like how you're playing with heights and sightlines, in how it services sort of the concept that you set out to address, which was to address different kinds of personalities and styles. And lastly, have you ever sat in one of those Hayworth tulip chairs?
No, I haven't.
They are amazing.
Really? Okay, great.
So not only those
those tulip chairs, they're
tulip
pretty
chairs
cool.
are awesome.
These bad boys.
Yep. Those are perfect for cell phone conversations in busy places.
Yeah.
They're often used in airports for that reason.
Really?
And if you turn 2 of them toward each other, it creates a sound chamber between the 2 chairs.
Oh, that's so cool.
So
I thought I partially picked them because they looked really cool. It was so hard when I'm picking out furniture. I was just throwing in furniture at first, playing with things around, and I actually changed my furniture a lot. But those ones just kind of stuck with me, and I thought they'd just be a great side kind of escape kind of chairs. So, and Haley.
Sorry. Just a quick question. I don't know if you see those white bench.
The sectionals?
Yeah, the thing above them, do you know what that is? Like that white?
It's like a head.
Oh, okay.
I'm curious to know what you guys feel of it. What do you think she solved some problems?
These are my High Alpha friends.
Being users of the space, what do you see good?
Yeah, being like on staff with Chi Alpha and being with them for 8 years and watching us grow. I mean, it's a dream. Like this would be something that would be incredible because we do lack space, and going back and forth has been, I mean, it's been a really big blessing for us to have that location, but being able to have more space and comfortable space for meetings, like for example, like I mentor Sarah, and I've been mentoring her for her pretty much all
3 years,
3 years, almost her entire time here at NEU. So being able to like have a space where you can have a conversation and not have to go somewhere else, even though we like being on campus too, it would be nice to have a place that is all ours, you know, and then even other people could use. So I think it's great.
You know, one comment though is your enthusiasm for your project. That showed throughout the whole thing. And to have somebody that's passionate about something that they're working on is probably the biggest key. You would have sold me on it. Right.
You would have been an investor?
Yeah.
Awesome. I agree. I think the right person did the right project on this one.
I'm glad it worked out because I literally had 0 other ideas.
But what's cool is that you chose a real life problem, you know, and how can we solve that through design and make it even more than what was ever anticipated. So I think you did a really great job overall. Everything was beautiful. So congrats, Sarah.
Never have I heard of third place theory, so I'm walking
JR
around.
taught me that one.
That's great.
She actually did.
I like it.
You know.
And just real quick, this is my committee member, Megan Ray. She's a designer here at Flagstaff, friends of Sherry, and so she was very helpful in working on my floor plan. She was very, very helpful with that. So I just wanted to
So what do you think
give
of
her a
it?
shout out and thank you.
From the very first concept to what I see today, I'm very impressed. It's come a long way. Well done.
Yep.
I will make another comment because I think it's
Time
a.
for years never gonna go.
We got 5 minutes. We're good.
Last one, it's fine.
And there are some people who have the knack to do this naturally, but you have a way when you presented something that needed a little bit of a little detail, you gave us just enough to where we go, okay, I know what she's talking about, without going too far into a definition of or throwing it up there. You had these little side comments that kind of filled in, if you didn't know what third place theory was, you're able to explain it in 8 seconds, just boom, that fast.
Practice a lot.
Just be able to have that brevity, to be able to explain something, just to put it into a context of the conversation and then move on from there. I thought, because it really kept the flow going without stopping on a subject. You lit on it, you explained it, and then you moved on.
Well, good job, Sarah. Congratulations.
Yep.